All right, welcome back. My
Yeah.
name's Drumhead. With me is Sabaka.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing game two of Monty versus Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson taking a decisive victory.
So
So, go ahead, Drum.
in the bottom right, we have the cheese attempt number one Protoss. It is Monty.
Yeah. Top left, however, is the cheese reactor, Wilson,
It sounds delicious.
not the cheese tech lab.
Okay.
So, I expect Monty to play a more stable game this time.
Yeah. Well,
Down 1-0, you don't want to cheese
I
again.
can't necessarily expect the same from Wilson. This would be a great time to cheese.
Hmm
It's a good map board too. Making two
It
pushes
is.
really small. Um, but yeah, let's see what's gonna go. Oh, there's an overlay apparently. Now you see everything.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So yeah, really curious to see what kind of builds we have on this map. It's not really a big blink stalker map, so I doubt we'll see that build from Monty again. This is kind of the map you do those robo expands. This is a really popular robo expand map, or some robo islands, some cross islands, and fun stuff like that.
Yeah. Looking Looking quite hot though from both, but both players looking cute. Let me tell you,
um,
handsomeness abound. As long as
mhm,
they're Protoss, I'm happy.
yeah.
Just never let me cast a Zuri game, ever.
Oh, if it counts for anything, if you cast code S, there's only a possibility of max two Zergs. So,
Yeah.
and one Terran, I believe.
God, we need
Yeah, one Terran.
some race differentiation.
Mm.
Let's bribe people to switch races. Let's bribe some of the Protosses.
Well, some of our Zergs switched. One of our Zergs switched to Protoss to spite everyone. So, you know,
All right, I'll
um,
switch to Zerg.
there we go. Honestly, who knows what races people are going to be in the HOTS? This is probably the next season of PSL is going to be, I think midway through the season is going to be launch. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to handle that or not. But once HOTS come out, who knows what races people will play?
Yeah, is the next season of PSL going to be in Heart of the Swarm, or will we still?
Yeah,
I don't know how fast
like
this will run.
like release is scheduled to be like halfway through the season, for the next season.
Okay,
So we kind of discuss what we want to do with that.
we'll just in the middle switch to Heart of the Swarm
Stuff, yeah. But
for the
at the same
season.
time, maybe not everybody will buy day one and stuff like that. So it's there's a
Yeah.
lot of logistic crap and boring
Damn
stuff.
it! I wish we were all Korean.
I
We'd all be on the same page.
know, right? Um, but yeah, so far we have a double guest build by Monty
Hmm
and a double guest build by Wilson. So
Yeah.
looking into a kind of a standard opening for this game. I kind of expect them both to go rubber builds because
hmm
they're kind of like the bread and butter on this map.
Yeah. Phoenix do work kind of well on this map, but it's just short. Oh, and there, as I say it, Monty goes Stargate,
Okay. Yeah, the
and
reason why Stargate's good is because Robo builds are good, and Stargate builds are decent against Robo builds.
yeah,
And that's just pretty much how that kind of mentality works. The reason why Robo builds are so good in this map is because the natural is so easy to defend with a Moral Sentry. It's a 2 force field ramp. I don't care how many units you have, a Moral Sentry can hold it.
right,
Um, and so you can get really fast expansions on this map.
yeah.
And Wilson's
And
going to go Immortal Sentry. It
do
looks like
you think Wilson will take an expansion?
yeah. There's only well, there's three gates up, so you might try to be aggressive, but you can't be too aggressive without Blink or without a Colossi, because you can't
Right.
get force fields, or without Phoenix, because Phoenix can snipe off the sentries.
Now let's say you're in Wilson's position. You're going Robo. You see a Phoenix fly into your base. What's your first reaction?
Build some stalkers.
Yeah,
You want to
I've been seeing an effective response is forge and then cannons at your front ramp and then expand
yeah.
because
The big response is to expand as fast as possible, because Phoenixes can't lift an exit. They can't stop you from expanding,
right,
and you're gonna lose some probes. It's something that's just going to happen, and you need the probe production to make up for it. Unless you're already going a build that's really good against him. Like if you're already going Blink or you're already going DTs, you can be aggressive. You can like
Yeah.
counter attack, kill the Phoenixing player. But when you're going Robo, you don't really have that option because all your models are just going to get lifted, and then they're just going to have a bigger gateway army.
Right.
Um,
Another thing I've been noticing is players will be sending their first Phoenix straight to the base instead of collecting them,
mhm.
just to get that fast scout.
Yeah, so that's a big gamble. So holding your
Right.
Phoenixes lets you have a bigger surprise. Lets the Robo player be more in trouble. You have only Zells, maybe one Stalker tops when you get there, you know?
Right.
But if you save that Phoenix, there might be DTs randomly in your base. You know, you saw ready for. And so it's really a give and take.
hmm And well, Wilson's ready. He's got his immortal in his mineral line. If it gets picked up,
Yep, he has a Sentry nice and safe because Sentry's a
right.
really big target for Phoenixes. They die super fast to them because they're light, and they're 100 gas, so like instantly popped.
hmm
Well, this probe is going to die. 5 probe. So yeah, this phase of the game is just going to be so it's okay as a Phoenixing player to get the later expansion. He's either on expand or you can be aggressive off this. He could definitely choose to be aggressive off this, but no, we're going to see a Nexus coming down now. Um, but he's going to push his units farther up. If he can get a force field on Monty's ramp, if when all his units are in the main, he can get this Nexus to be killed or canceled for sure,
hmm
100%. And that looks like the way he's going to be going for.
Yeah, Wilson just trying his hardest to get any kind of probe kills he can get in. Now finally he's got a chance. He picks off one, two probes.
Yeah, he's just trying
So
to draw this army to stay in the base. But at the same time, there's no reason for this Normal to be in the base. There's no reason for this Zealot to be in the base. They
right.
can't shoot the Phoenixes. And look, we're going to have a force field at the ramp, and this army split in half really effectively.
There. That's pretty
It's killing
damn bad.
and was killing a lot of probes. We don't have enough energy for the second force field, so this won't be able to kill the Nexus or anything like that. But he killed like 4, 5, 6, 7 workers just right there. It's a total of 19 workers killed. So definitely did a lot of damage by doing that little ploy.
Yeah.
In the
That's,
meantime, the Phoenixes were
well.
lifting up workers in the main. You see how low the energy on those Phoenixes are?
Yeah, Phoenix
Oh,
energy is it depletes damn quick because
yeah.
graviton beam is 50 energy, so you really only get X amount of chances to really
Mhm.
lift.
But he used them. That little ploy got full, it opened up the main completely while killing probes in the natural.
Right.
So there's a huge economic advantage even with the later Nexus.
And both players transitioning into Colossi, so it's going to be good for Monty though because he's going to have Phoenix along with his Colossi.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just standard transition. The Phoenixes aren't going to be worth too much later in the game. They don't do too much. But they're going to be constantly harassing, constantly looking for those probe kills. Eventually, you do want to even trade them out because they don't actually do much damage to Colossi. They just kind of tickle them slowly. Eventually, they will kill them, but like a big fight, they're not that helpful. He's just trying to force Stalkers, where Stalkers are kind of useless in endgame.
Right.
Because they're just kind of squishy and do no damage. And he just wants to get as many pro kills as possible.
Yeah. I mean, eventually though, like at this point, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to keep building the Phoenix. I'm not sure if he scouted the Robo Bay.
It's a gamble. If you build enough Phoenixes where you can lift up all his Stalkers, you can do lots of damage. If you have enough Phoenixes just to kill his Stalkers, 8 Phoenix versus 3 Stalkers, 8 Phoenix just wipes them out. But it's a lot of gas to be investing on in Colossi.
It is, yeah. He's gonna. We'll see who ends up taking a third base first,
Mm.
because
The kind of opening the kind of advantage that that's had in this game, you could definitely have a follow-up push that could do a lot of damage.
Monty dropping down the first forge, so we'll see if he gets another forge to get those double upgrades.
Mm. Yeah, he's just started his range. I mean, double upgrades aren't as popular in the PvP match because the armor doesn't help as much because Colossi is usually overkill units. So doing one less damage is still gonna overkill the unit. So it's not as helpful. It helps on the Zealot action and all that jazz, but the attack upgrades are definitely where your money's best spent.
Jerome, you
Phoenix,
teach me so much.
I do my best.
I'm
Phoenix
sitting
just
here
picked up a
like, armor
Zell.
is bad? What?
I mean, it's some players still get at the high level. It's definitely better than not having armor, but a lot of times it's just not worth that gas. If you want to do like one of those faster timings, if you're gonna wait to max out and you're setting everything, yeah, double force is great. But if you want to
Mm.
just go fast, +3 max, like +3 like 160 army supply, just hit. Using that gas, something else might be beneficial.
Yeah, and both players now at two robos. So Wilson has the first Twilight though, or will have the first Twilight.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I mean,
big,
as
big
this game goes
hit in
longer, the
top left.
advantage that the Phoenix has made are going to slowly diminish because there was no move by Monty to extend his like no fast third or something like that. Like Monty could have taken a really fast third because he was up like 20 supply.
Hmm.
Because what's Wells going to do to punish that? Nothing. But now he's getting normal. He doesn't have that, and now like as everyone's supply increases, a 20 supply advantage it gets less meaningful. Especially because that supplies in Phoenixes, and Phoenixes don't really do much. So the advantage that he made with the really good opening is kind of diminished, and the thirds are pretty much going to be at the same time.
Hmm.
So this game is definitely going to even out a lot,
Right.
and it's going to come into really just positioning and engaging and army comp. Like army comp is so important in PvP.
Yeah,
It,
Colossus count is exactly tied. Immortal count is
mm,
tied. Wilson has just a higher number of stalkers.
which isn't that big of a deal, but the Phoenixes also aren't. Um, so they're pretty much going the same equal comp. We really don't have the Archons in the we don't have the higher immortal, higher class count. Um, so yeah, it really depends on what comps they go for, the timing, the positioning. If someone gets aggressive and they have to get a good position on like this third base, then while like for example, if Wilson's outside, if Monty's outside Wilson's third, Wilson can't walk down that ramp, or he'll just get
Hmm.
shredded. You just have to sacrifice it. Just things like that. If you just get those positions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now it's just a race to that 200 supply cap, and then it's just going to be War of the Worlds and see who comes out on top.
Yep, this is kind of the slump in PvP. Monty will be looking out to trade these Phoenixes. He wants to trade these Phoenixes out for something. They're not useful in the War of the Worlds stage, but you don't want to give them away for free. If you can wipe a mineral line for them, that'd be great. But that's what he wants to do. If he just sits on them, that's what 3 supply each, 15 supply and useless units. That's not what you want when you max. We have the Temple Archive going down for Monty. So we can get the Archons in. We'll only, we'll almost finish with +2 for Monty. And we just
Yeah,
finished.
Monty's just going to
Just
have a huge tech
huge
variety.
advantage, yeah. He's going to want to hit either the +2 or the +3. It's a huge advantage when you hit at those timings. Getting a +3 faster is just such a big advantage in this matchup. He has to throw away this Phoenix, and here he's in the middle line. This is what he wants to do. He wants to just clear these mineral lines out, and
Oh,
he's gonna get all of them.
great, great probe kills right there on the mineral line. Oh my God, he's
Now,
taking out
honest, keeping the Phoenixes alive. I mean, honestly, at a certain point, you do want to lose them.
40
Uh,
workers killed right now for Monty.
that's a huge advantage. Oh wow. Yeah, that worker, that the unit loss worker kills that is insane. Monty definitely has a big advantage, especially with his tech being faster. It looks like he's going to go for a +3 timing because he started +3, but
Hmm.
it's going to be well maxed out. So it's just kind of going to give Wilson a little window of opportunity to get build up an army. Because once your armies are really big, it's really easy to make a micro mistake that can cost the game. But
Yeah.
here, Monty's getting aggressive. He's moving his War of the Worlds esque army, and let's kind of see the compositions. Both of them are going extremely Colossi heavy. Um, Against compositions this Colossi heavy, if someone were to cut Colossi at like 6 or 8 and make it Mortals, they just win the fight. Because Mortals can 1v1 a Colossi. Fun
Yeah.
fact.
By the way,
Um,
Wilson's still on 4 gates at
mhm.
20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's not going to hurt his army. That's going to hurt the reinforcements.
Yeah. And
So it will hurt that. So Monty can take this. Wilson like giving up his third, like the position Wilson's sitting in. for a good amount of time. He kind of doesn't care too much about his third base. They're both really close to max. This he's just kind of Monty's just kind of chilling here. It
Yeah.
looks like he's going for a fourth base, but the longer he waits to do something, the less advantage he has. The supplies are now even. He had 20 supply lead to even supplies. He still does have the upgrade advantage, and he has more gateways to reinforce his army. But the compositions are the same. He doesn't have a composition advantage. There's no Archons in his army. He's still sitting on useless things. Like 4 sentries are useless. 19 zealots are useless when there's 10 colossi out. Meanwhile, Wilson's adding immortals. So Wilson's army composition is starting to look better. Simple as that. He's also adding some DTs. So there's going to see some DT harassment going on. And they're just going to come in and kill things. But honestly, losing probe supply right now is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, there's one cannon here in Monty's main. And there's other DTs just going to town.
Yeah. Now, when you have Colossus in this high of a number, you got to have some kind of... When it comes down to the end of the whole fight, the Immortals are really going to...
Is what's going to kill everything. Yeah.
Neither player has a high Immortal count.
No. So when your Colossi counts are this high on both sides, Zealots are actually useless supply because they just melt too fast. And here the fight, Monty's just get caught. His first Colossus were way up front, and they get a couple pot shots on it. So that's going to definitely hurt the supply. And yeah, those early pot shots, and then these Immortals are standing strong in front of Wilson's army. So that slight misstep, that slight move command, instead of back got 2 free shots before Monty's
Wilson's positioning is just excellent, and he barely loses any Colossus.
Yeah, he just came at the better angle, and Monty was just caught unaware. And that's just the risk when you take an advantage and just kind of sit there and wait on it, and then you just got clumped up. Honestly, what that had to do with was the DTs. So before those DTs came, Monty's army was nice and spread out, just waiting to be engaged into. But then when the DT came, he was thinking about moving it back. He commanded, he clumped them all up, and then Wilson strike.
Right.
So that was a big gaffe. Those DTs did way more work than they should have. In fact, with losing workers at that point in the game, you can get a bigger army, and it's all about that one-hit punch. Because the one attack is usually the deciding factor in PvP. But now with a supply deficit and the economic damage that those DTs just did, it's looking really good for Wilson.
Yeah, the DT is really doing work, taking out pylons, taking out workers, 25 workers they took out.
Yep. And it just goes to show you the importance of having cannons in every base.
Yep.
Simple as that. So now,
very well thought out from Wilson, just coming from behind, coming from an economic disadvantage to really change the tide.
Yep, he just stuck to the game. He was, how many workers killed? It's actually, still in favor of Monty by a lot, but just a bad engagement forced by those DTs just kind of turned the tide. And this Phoenix is trying his hardest to try to do damage to something, but no. He's like,
big engagement in the middle.
Yeah, you're always behind Zabaga.
I'm not behind. I just wanted to say big engagement in the middle. All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And now, Monty's so far on the back foot. He's feeling the pressure. His Colossi are like, dear God, hope they don't come. I need more friends to fight this. And there's just no third base, just as the fourth up and running. So the economic situation isn't as dire. It's still pretty far in the advantage of Wilson. But yeah, Wilson's just going to pressure down and probably try to force the GG. The army supply is pretty big difference.
Wilson trying to move in, I guess, for the final push right here. He's definitely got the numbers to do it too.
He's just going to roll it. Yep. And we can expect GG anytime now.
Yep.
Monty pointing out how wonderful his engage was, and the G. So
Monty now dropping a Stargate, so he'll be doing some Phoenix play in this game, I think. Sorry, am I behind?
Thank you.
Let me fast forward a little bit.
All right.